How's it going out there, everyone? W.F.S, your doctor here today, and hopefully all of you are at the beginnings of a great new year. Mine is off to an interesting start, but that's a video for another time. Star Trek. We have Starfleet Academy, which is going to be airing in roughly about 10 more days, and we have Strange New Worlds, 2 more seasons to go of that. So basically we have 2 seasons of Star Trek left to go under the Kurtzman brand. That's a sign that all things are going to change for Star Trek, right?
Wrong.
Okay, let's be honest about this. We don't know what the future is going to be like for Star Trek. We don't really know if Paramount and Skydance have learned the lessons that Alec Kurtzman brutally taught everybody about Star Trek and how they could screw things up. That's fine. That's great. We're not here to talk about future Star Trek today. We actually are going to talk about the past. As many of you know, there is no secret that I have a problem with modern-day Star Trek and the constant historical canon violations that have been done by Star Trek Discovery and, of course, Strange New Worlds. But in the last few days, I've been watching classic Star Trek The Next Generation, Enterprise, the original series, and I have noticed something.
Baractagino, if I have to say we don't carry that one more time. The Klingons.
Klingons? Those are Klingons? Mr. Worf?
They are Klingons. And it is a long story.
Some kind of genetic engineering? A viral mutation?
We do not discuss it with outsiders.
So the original series introduced us to the Klingons, and for the most part, they looked human. Darker skin tones, and definitely the mustache and the beard. But other than that, they looked human. And then we were introduced to the Klingons, a new version of them in Star Trek The Motion Picture. Now, when the motion picture did come out, I don't think too many people were complaining about the looks, the changes in the character's appearance. Basically because, they just accepted the fact that it was an improved budget and they were trying to give us, the audience, a better quality image of what aliens would look like. But Star Trek decided to delve deeper into what happened with the Klingons when DS9 came along and Worf gave his explanation as to what happened. It's something they really don't want to talk about. But then Enterprise decided to go deeper into it.
The Empire is facing its gravest threat since the Herc invasion. A virus is spreading from planet to planet. Millions are already infected. If this continues, the Klingon species will cease to exist.
You were trying to create Klingon augments. But Sue's experiments were all killed. Where did you get the genetic material?
Several embryos were found in the wreckage of the bird of prey. We used them to resequence a number of test subjects. There were some unanticipated side effects.
So let me see if I got this right. The Klingons decided to experiment with augment DNA, fusing it with their own Klingons, and it wound up killing them, killing off their ridges and basically destroying their own DNA. But one of these Klingons had the flu, and it merged with the flu to become a virus, and that is how we got the Klingons we have in Star Trek, the original series. However, there is a problem here. So this is the way the Klingons were supposed to look before the virus came about.
Kahless, the unforgettable. The Klingon who set the pattern for his planet's tyrannies.
This is where the problem for me is with the Star Trek canon. Enterprise tells the story of how the Klingons became the way they did in the original series. But if that is true, then someone needs to explain to me Kahless, the unforgettable here. In Season 3, Episode 22, The Savage Curtain, the crew of the Enterprise is visiting a planet, and they're not welcome there. The aliens pretty much hold Kirk and Spock hostage. They have to fight all these legendary villains of the past in order to save themselves and save their ship. Kahless, the unforgettable, is there. Now, the alien said that he pulled them from the historical documents and the memories of Kirk and Spock. Now, The reason why I say this is a canon violation or a problem with the history of Star Trek is the fact that the books that would depict the history of the Klingons would have to have what Kahless looked like originally, not this virus mutated version of Kahless, right? I mean, after all, at this point in the Federation's history, they would have a record of what the Klingons look like of the past, their wars, their heroes, their villains, and I have to believe that Kahless would not be looking like this. This would be the original face of Kahless, not the one seen in the original series, which is why what Enterprise did kind of screws things up, doesn't it?
Millions of my people will have to live with this disfigurement. It'll be passed on to our children. Life won't be easy for us.
Enterprise tried to tell the story of what happened to the Klingons and why they looked the way they did in the original series. But in doing so, I honestly think, and it may be nitpicking on my part, but I really do believe that because of that one little scene from the original series right there, and the historical Kahless, the unforgettable character, I think they may have forgotten about that one episode. I honestly think they do, because that kind of is a screw-up right there. He supposedly was pulled from the memories of Kirk and Spock, and I think they're historical documents, which would mean that was the only image they have of Kahless. But it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions about that. What do you think of what the Enterprise did regarding the Klingons and their explanation of what happened to them? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. Drop them below and let me know. Until the next time, my friends, God bless.